So today I'm going to do a service on the Jeep Wrangler. She's presently sitting at, don't know if you can make that out, 99,000, switch it off, 99,272. As you can see by the last service, I don't know if you can make that out or not. But the last service was in 2022 in December, and she'd only done 96,400. So it's done not a lot really. So that's about 3,000 odd and just over a year. She never gets used, eh? She just sits here dormant all the time, which is a shame. But then in our 6 years I'll be retiring, so that'll be my runaround as the old Jeep Wrangler. So as you can see, it's common rail diesel. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this done. So I'm under the Jeep. Jesus, not a lot of room. So the sump bolt up here in the bottom of the sump, it's a, what is it, TX50. So we'll slacken that off. She holds 6.8 litres, so there we go. Now a lot of people you see doing this get shit in their hands. Trick is push it up as you turn it out. Keep pushing it up. Jeez, that's hot. Then at the last minute, when you think it's all out, just pull it out like that. No, like that. Sorry, that was bloody hot. However, you got it out. So I'll just leave that dripping away for a wee while, and I'll put the sump plug just up there and leave it for a wee while. And what I'll maybe do is we'll get the oil filter out and see what that's like. So while that's draining away, I'll just have a wee look at the air filter. See what that's like. It's actually handy to move this so you can get in. I'll just show you into the oil filter housing. So if you bend this out the way, you can get in easier. But going back to the filter, this is the clean side, and that's the dirty side. It's a wee bit dirty, but I've seen a lot worse, eh? And it's a washable filter, so I'll give it a wash and put it back in. We'll do the oil filter while we're here. So the oil filter's just in this housing. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try and bend you over a wee bit more. No. So here's the oil filter just in here. So you need to get a socket, fair size. Want to hear what is this? This will be a 27mm, and just slacken it. And there's the housing, so I'll take that away and give it a good clean up. There's an O-ring on here that needs to change, and the filter itself is just there. Oh. So when you pull that out, the oil drains away down into the sump. There's a wee plug there, it goes into a hole. You see it? It goes into a hole in here, so when you remove it, it drains all the oil out, and means you don't have to bugger about with it. So I'll put this up here on there just now, and we'll go back and we'll get the other one and we'll put that in. So here's the other oil filter, the new one. You'll notice here's a filter with a wee grummety bit, and it plugs in the hole. And inside there should be, yes, a new washer for this. Now just remember, as you can see, it's sort of up at an angle on the outside, just so as it seals properly. So just replace it with a new one. Give it a wee bit of oil before you screw it in, so as it doesn't crink or break the rubber band, and it should be fine. So what I'll do here, I'll give this a wee clean. Not that it's needing much of a clean, but I'll give it a wee wipe inside. Why not? Make it nice and clean. So you can see the wee hole down the bottom there, and that's where this bit plugs into. So you just line it up. As you put it in, you'll feel it when it goes in. Yeah, that's it. So I'll go and change that over. So here's the housing, the rubber ring. You just sit it into the groove and just pull it over. Make sure you get it on straight, there's no twists. It's straight all the way around with the flange sticking up that way. So I'll give that a wee bit of oil and then we can screw that back in. I'll just smear a wee bit with my finger. So there's the air filter in place, and we put this on. Smeared a wee bit of oil in here. That just goes on like that. Now you'll see there's a wee clippy bit inside here. Clips into there. You'll feel it when it tightens up. You'll feel it clipping onto it. So when you put it on, you should be able to get most of the way behind. And then get your socket and tighten it up. Don't overdo it, because you didn't want to bugger up the rubber ring on it. You didn't want to burst the threads on this. You just didn't want to damage anything. So oil filter's in the way. I'm going to take that oil filter dipstick out the way. There we go. Yeah, that's tight enough. I won't go any further. As you go any further, whoops, you're going to bugger it up. Just give it a wee clean. Give it a good clean round about. And when I've taken the dipstick out, give that a clean as well. I'll take the cap off my bit. That's tight. And there we go. So we'll go underneath, we'll put a sump plug back in, and then we'll fill her with oil. So back under again. Going to put the sump plug back in, and then I'll get the waste oil moved and tidy it up. So this thing will drip away for hours. The car's on a slight gentle slope downhill. The front's downhill a wee bit, not a lot, just a wee bit, and that'll help shifting all the dirt out of the sump into the pan. Well, once you get it going, not much room for me. You're done with a hoist, but however, you got to work with the tools that you've got. if you're putting the same washer on, take it off and turn it the other way around. I'll give it a new lease of life. One washer will do about 4 or 5 changes quite easily. You don't have to change the washer every oil change. Although your service stations will tell you otherwise. That's because they're upselling. Every time they do a job, they want you to spend more. So don't be tempted. While you're under, have a wee look. You know, just have a wee look around, see what everything looks like. Make sure everything's fine. You can see the sump housing in there. I'm going to be doing the transmission and the transfer box fluid soon. So that'll be up and coming. At the moment, we'll get cleaned up and start putting oil in. Yeah, everything else looks okay under here, but then she's only done 99,000 Ks. Now, one job I didn't show you that I did do was I got a tin of mass flow air sensor. Mass flow, it's for cleaning your air sensor. So your air sensor, when you go to your airbox, all cars are the same. You'll have this wee thing here. Put the 2 screws out and a wee box comes out. Inside it you'll see 2 very thin wires, very thin wires. Yeah, don't touch them, whatever you do, don't touch them in case you break them, they're very thin. But you'll get a tin of this, give them a good spray until you see them clean up. Once all the dirt's off them and they're clean, pop the airflow sensor back in. Don't try and rub it with a cloth, it'll dry in seconds. What these do is they monitor the air coming into the engine, how much air's coming into the engine, the moisture of the air and everything. So it talks to the onboard computer and it determines how much diesel it needs to put in to mix with that air. It's all pretty, yeah, artificial intelligence type of thing. But if you keep that sensor clear, you know, do it every service if you want. It'll just make sure it's recording the correct amount of air going in and the engine's going to give it the right amount of fuel. If it's dirty, if it's clogged up and it's not working properly, what can happen is the vehicle will drink too much fuel. So you'll notice you're not getting as many miles per gallon or litres per kilometre, whichever. So give that a go every now and again, every time you give it a service. I'll show you what else I've done. So I've done the air filter. It's a K&N, so it's all cleaned, it's put back in there. I always put my sticker on so as everybody knows it's a K&N. So the oil filter's done. On here, as you can see, I've done a timing belt. And it was in 2021 when it had done 92,000 kilometres. The reason that I did it was because the vehicle had done 92,000 kilometres, but it was, what would that be, 7 years old. And I reckon 7 years old enough for a timing belt, you know. Most of the time it depends on the kilometres, but when a vehicle gets to 7-year-old and its original timing belt, I would change it. Just to be on the safe side. Because you never know, if the timing belt goes, your engine's fucked, more or less. So yeah, so I'd give it a go. I'll show you what else I fitted onto this vehicle as well that might interest you. So a couple of years ago I put a catch can on. You can see it here. So this breather comes out the PCV valve and it used to go into the air intake. So it was sucking all the fumes and crap that comes out your engine. I don't know if you remember years ago every diesel had a breather pipe and used to see smoke coming out. Well, nowadays with emissions you can't do that. So that would suck straight into the breather and it would be re-burnt in the engine. That's why you need a diesel particulate filter to get all the mess that comes from that out of your fumes, and the diesel's quite a clean, efficient car nowadays compared to what it used to be. But what I did, and what a lot of people do, is put a catch can on. So the fumes come out of here into the catch can, It goes through a filter, leaving the oil deposited in the bottom, and the clean air goes back into your air intake. So it means that you're not recirculating all the crap. And I'll just show you. I've not had a look at it yet, but I'll just take this off. It's been a wee while since I've had a look in here. So, cap's quite clean. So there's your filter in here. Oops. And as you can see, the bottom of the filter's getting a bit oily. See the oil around the top? So the air goes through the filter and the oil drains out it into the bottom of the filter there. I'll just put this back in. And then that goes down this pipe and you can drain it at the bottom of the car. But it's a clever setup, and it certainly stops your car from burning all that crap through the intake, because what happens is, more so in diesels, your exhaust manifold and your inlet manifold can carbon up, and it can cause all sorts of problems, and that's quite a common thing in the diesel engine, especially in Australia. So we catch can, they're not that expensive, throw it on, catches all the excess oil coming out the engine, and yeah, it'll probably save you a bit of wear and tear on your engine as well, and it makes it more efficient. So here we go. This stuff comes with its own funnel, as you can see, and a tip is to make a wee hole in the top here of the funnel, so as the air can go in, as the oil comes out, stick it in the hole, and just let her fill up. And that works a treat. Now, the amount of people I see when they're doing this vehicle takes 6.8 litres of oil. 6.8. This can is 7 litres. That's 0.2 of a litre more than what the engine takes. Does putting in the whole lot do any harm? Not really. 0.2 of a litre? No. I have to laugh at people because, like, you know, people got a vehicle and they say, oh, it takes this much oil, and they sit and they pour some in and they try the dipstick and then they pour a bit more in and do the dipstick. I've even seen somebody taking their oil out, you know, because there's too much in it. And I have to laugh at them. Get a measuring jug. You know, if you're doing a service on your bike and it says it takes 2.5 litres, then measure it 2.5 litres and pour it in. Is it going to be over? Maybe a ball here. Is it going to be under? Well, no, if you put in 2.5 litres. All this nonsense of checking dipsticks and all that sort of thing. I have to laugh at these people that do that. So, this takes 6.8. I'm putting in 7. Is it going to do any harm? Well, I've had the vehicle since 2014. I do the servicing the same every time. I stick in that 7 litres and it's just a wee bit above on the dipstick. But after a wee while, that burns up because it's a diesel. So all these people that sit there with dipsticks and sticking it in and out and measuring it, oh, it needs another quarter of a litre and everything. Get a grip, get a measuring jug, measure it. If you're doing a complete oil change and you're taking out the oil filter, let the thing drip for a couple of hours to make sure everything's out. Measure up your jugs and put the oil in. Never mind sitting with a dipstick back and forward like an idiot. Anyway, there you go. And that's that. Oil in. So, I'm just going to show you with the dipstick. That's it filled up. I've left it sitting for 5 minutes. Put the dipstick in. Whoops. Pull it straight out and hold it level so as it doesn't run. So here's the top mark here, right at my thumb. And the oil is just a ball here over it. And that's 7 litres in and a 6.8 litre engine. That's what I was saying earlier. It doesn't really matter, you know, unless you're one of these people that's more into precision and nonsense. As I say, work out how much it takes, drain it all out, change the filter and pour in what the engine's supposed to take. They spend billions designing these things, you know, I mean, God knows how many billions of dollars goes into designing an engine, but they're designed, and when it tells you in the book that's the oil it takes, that's the oil it takes. There's no point messing around with it. Anyway, that's that done. Just need to top up the window washers. Need to do my, no, that's all right. Coolant. Done my air filter, so it's all cleaned and redone. Yep, everything's good. I've done my sump. I just need to start it up and see how she sounds. Let's have a wee listen. Can't leave my cloth, just in case. I like to start it up and just check the oil. And we just need to watch for the oil light going out. How's that? Piece of cake. Give it a wee bit. Sounded good to me. And then lastly, of course, have a check underneath, make sure it's no leaking oil, which I've checked anyway and it's fine. We'll let it run for a minute, check it over, no leaks, you've done a fantastic job. You can top your razor wires up while you're doing it. I'm quite happy with that. It's only done 3,000 and a wee bit kilometres since the last oil change, but at least I know it's fresh, clean oil that's in it, especially with a diesel. And you never, ever get puffs of smoke out the back. I'll show you what else I do, just show you here. Since this was brand new, 2014, I've been buying this stuff. Diesel power. Now, I just got a new one today. Sorry, I'm just putting this in the car. Diesel power, and it does extra power. It cleans your particulate filter and all your bits and pieces. I don't know if it is any different or not. Anyway, you put a milliliter to a litre in, so you put 80 litres in, or the tank takes 82 litres, so you put 82 mil in, fill it up with diesel, and that does it. Every time I fill that up with diesel, I put that in it. The thing runs sweet. There's no noise, no rattles, no clankings, and as you can see for the back, no smoke. So I would advise anybody to do that, and because I've done it since it's new, you know, I think it's been a worthwhile thing to do. Anyway, I'm going to tidy up. So that seems to be it. Jeep's done, oil change. So, got a bit more work to do. I'm going to do the automatic transmission. Front and back diff, transfer case. I need to change the fluids in them as well, because that's nearly 100,000 Ks. Check the hubs for grease, fuel bearings, that sort of thing. So I'm going to go over that through time. I'm not going to do it all today or this week or this month. I'll just be doing wee bits and pieces, because as I always say, if you're doing it yourself, there's no great rush to do it. You can do your oil change one month, the next month you can do your transfer box, your automatic transmission the following month. You know, you don't have to rush it. It's not like in a garage where you need to get everything done that day. As long as it gets done, it doesn't matter when it gets done. So yeah, so that's some up and coming wee jobs that I'm going to do. I might even do a review of the Jeep, because she's been a fantastic machine. It's never let us down once, not once. It runs all the time, it runs perfectly. It doesn't use a lot of fuel, because it being a diesel. And yeah, we've been up bloody mountains with it and everything, so yeah. And of course we put the front winch on it as well, just for when we were away up in the hills gold panning and that sort of thing, you know. There's at least if we ever got stuck we can pull ourselves out. So that's the Jeep done. I hope that was interesting. I've not got much else to do with the bikes or anything yet. I'd imagine through time. Actually, yeah, I have KTM. KTM needs a wee update. So the discs are kind of worn a bit. So the discs are worn a bit. They're a wee bit rough and there's a big lip there. Same at the other side. So I've got 2 new front discs to put on, but I'll need to order brake pads. There's no point putting new discs on if you're not going to put new brake pads on. I'll need to check the headstock bearings, make sure they're okay. And tyres. Yeah, I've got tyres coming. I'll just have a look at the back brakes while I'm here. Back brakes. The pads wear a lot, but the disc doesn't wear much. There's still a bit wear in these. In that section of the pad. Yeah, there's still a bit wear in these. So yeah, so I've got new tyres coming, so I'll change them over when they come. But a wee bit wear left on these yet, so I'm not too much of a hurry. As you can see, there's still a bit left. So I'm not too much of a hurry to change them. But when I do, I'll get the front brakes done, the discs and pads, and I'll probably do the back brake pads as well. And the back brake wheel bearings, I've not had a look at them yet, so I'll check them when I take it off. I did the front ones not that long ago. There's a video somewhere up there or over there. But I've not done the back ones, so I'll get into that eventually. Yeah, but it's a good bike, the KTM. Use it every day. And then, of course, the old Goldwing. I like to use that for on my days off, for a wee bit of luxury. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll see you later. Bye.